Hello YouTube, I'm back, and for today's video, we're still gonna cover a Europe informative video about Philippine immigration. Previously, I already covered how to get a Schengen tourist visa, and you can check that on my YouTube channel. And if you would want to see my experiences as well while I stayed in Schengen, you can always visit my channel. I have videos regarding that stuff. And if you want more informative videos like this, click like and subscribe button and let me know in the comment section. So what we would cover today is how to avoid getting offloaded at the Philippines immigration, and tips of what to bring on the airport and tips for the interview. So let's start. Most of us just got relieved of the fact na may visa na tayo. So we're like, finally, visa is over, I can fly. But I experienced this myself when I flew to Schengen last December. I thought over na lahat because I am done with my visa. I can fly. I will just worry about my luggage and everything. But actually, my immigration pa pala. And the worst thing is, it is on the day of your departure. So if ever ma-offload ka, wala kang choice but to book your flight, to refund it, and cancel your trip. I'm not trying to scare you guys, but what I'm saying is we should be prepared of what to bring and how to present ourselves at the Philippine immigrations or at the immigration officer or the IO. Okay, first things first, what do you have to do weeks before your flight? So make sure that your passport is at a good condition. You have to check that it's not dirty, it's not folded, it's not ripped or anything. Also, make sure that the validity of your passport is valid for 6 more months before your flight. Because if its validity is below 6 more months before your flight, it is good as an identification card na lang. Hindi na siya good for travel. Might as well renew it before you travel to avoid questions and to avoid IO complications. IO, by the way, is immigration officer. Next is, para naman easier yung flow ng pagpunta mo sa airport, if you will be able to check in online before your flight, might as well do it. Hindi available ang online check-in during the time that I travel because of the pandemic. So it's not available. But if it's available to you now, might as well na mag-online check-in ka before your flight so that you can make sure na maayos lang yung flow pagdating mo sa airport. By the way, what would happen is, pagdating mo ng airport, you would check in, then you will put your luggages, they will check the luggages for you, they will check your tickets, and then after that is the immigration interview na. Now, let's move on to what you have to do days before your flight. First, make sure you have all the documents available with you. So, you can have it digitally. Like if you have an iPad, you can just put it in a folder where you can access it easily. But if you are into printouts or handouts, you can just print all of the things that you need before you fly. Make sure as well na yung dadalhin mo doon while you are presenting yourself to the IO is only relevant documents if ever na mag-a-ask sila na i-present lahat. Kasi pag hindi relevant, like papakita mo doon yung things na hindi naman kailangan, magda-doubt rin si IO na ba't kailangan mo itong dalhin? Ba't ang dami mong dalang documents? May plano ka bang mag-work doon? May plano ka bang ganito, ganyan? So might as well avoid those questions about the files. So make sure you bring or prepare the files that you need before your flight, but not too much of it, just the files that you need. So, what are these files? So first of all, it would be your passport and the visa. Next is the round-trip itinerary. So if yung visa na kukunin mo, because we're talking about tourist Schengen visa here, if yung visa na nakuha mo is valid for 3 months or for a duration of stay, you should always have a round-trip ticket because it shows to them na babalik ka sa Pinas. Say, one of their concerns as well, like nagsasubmit ka ng visa, is if you go there and mag-overstay ka or mag-work ka or hindi ka na uuwi. So you should show your round-trip ticket. Next is accommodations, like your hotel bookings, the invitation letter ng sponsor mo kung may sponsor ka. Bring also your school or your company ID or the file that you submitted during your visa application, which is your certificate of leave na pinapayagan ka ng work mo na umalis. Next is your financial capability. If ever hindi ka sponsored, you should show your certificate of employment, your BIR or business certificate. If you're working online or if you're working anywhere, show proofs of it, like screenshots of the financial statements or picture of your business. If unemployed ka naman, what you're gonna show is invitation letter, the authenticated invitation letter from your sponsor na sila ang magpo-provide ng funds to you for the whole duration of your stay. And you can also provide a authenticated affidavit of support for that. Next is what to do on the day of your flight. First of all is packed ka na ang lahat-lahat. Make sure as well that you have your luggage. The check-in baggage that you have should be the things that you would not touch at all during the duration of your travel papunta sa bansa. So, sa carry-on mo, yun yung mga things na dapat mong ilabas during the I.O. or your tickets or your needs like your makeup kit, yun yung ilagay mo sa carry-on baggage mo. So, what you're gonna do is be there on time. This is so important. It's much better to be there early than late. Pagdating mo sa airport, it's not that after check-in, may entertain ka na ng I.O. What is expected is, when you get there, may queue na. May line na towards the I.O. So that takes time. Let's say you're gonna queue there for 30 minutes. Tas yung flight mo is an hour na lang. Hindi mag-a-adjust sa'yo si I.O. Hindi mo ma-rush si I.O. So, if ever si I.O. may additional question sa'yo, you will miss your flight na because you were there for an hour before your flight, which is not advisable. What I can advise is you should be there 3 to 4 hours before your flight. Check your airlines. It is actually their advised number of hours before your flight na nandun ka na sa airport. Next is, check your boarding pass. Familiarize mo early pa lang kung saan gate ka pupunta, saan terminal naka-assign yung flight mo, para once the check-in is open for your flight already, you can just go ahead and present your ticket and go to the boarding area and go to I.O. and stuff. Airport security is so specific about bomb threats, terrorism, and everything not related to that. So you should not joke about bombs, about terrorisms, about having something sharp on your luggages. And also you should not joke about overstaying or like wanting to stay longer than you're given with your visa. It's not a good joke. It would just give suspicions sa I.O. na mag-i-interview sa'yo. Next on the list is tips to remember when you're dealing with the I.O. officer or nasa I.O. interview ka na. By the way guys, it's not always the case na si I.O. is mag-i-interview sa'yo. If I.O. asks you like one question, where are you going? And I.O. can see that your intentions to travel is good, there's no intentions of like overstaying or anything, and they can see that you're credible enough, they will just stamp your passport. Sometimes it works like that, sometimes it doesn't. So most of the cases na i-interview ka ni IO or you are forwarded to another IO officer is because first, you are sponsored by your partner and it is your first time seeing each other, or you have a partner in the other country and it's your first time traveling outside the country, or it's your first time being in their country. So that's those are expected. But it's not that it's always the case. Pag nakikita ni IO that you look suspicious or you look not relaxed or anything, then you can be forwarded to be asked with additional questions. So first is relax. I know it is stressful enough to deal with the visa, tas yun sa immigration naman, but try to calm yourself. Because if IO can see that you are unrelaxed, pwede nilang ma-interpret yan as you are hiding something, or yung travel mo is not, you're not truthful to what you're saying because you're nervous. You have to dress smart as well. I know it could be a long travel, but if you're presenting yourself to the IO, I cannot just wear pajamas. So you dress smart. You can like wear a polo shirt or a t-shirt which has good printing, nothing so showy, and you have to look presentable. Always also write legibly when you're given a form, and make sure your documents are authentic. So make sure na walang mga lapses sa ipagpigita mong documents. Let's say, sa invitation letter ni jowa mo is nakasaad na yung travel mo is up until 12 of December. Tas yung present mo naman na yung sinabi mo naman kay IO is aalis ka 14th of December. So that's already lapses on your documents. You should make sure that your documents are all correct. Also, never ever fake documents because it will just lead you to rejection because you lied to them if they found out. For example, hindi umabot yung affidavit of support ni jowa sa time na travel mo. Tas sasabihin mo sa IO, original affidavit of support to, kahit scan copy lang naman ang 20% mo. So just be honest to the IO na you're not able to provide original because of this and that. That is just an example. Next is be confident. But note, there's a big difference between being confident and being cocky. If you're being cocky, nakikita nila na, oh, super confident, that's not good because being cocky is not professional. So we should always be polite and professional. So don't be cocky. Answer questions when you're asked. Don't provide additional information, additional answers to the questions that they're asking from you. Be confident, but not too much. Don't be cocky. Next is answer truthfully. So pag tinanong ka ni IO sa mga things, just answer truthfully if you have this or not, or nakita na kayo or not, and things like that. Because at the end of the day, ikaw lang din ang matatanggol sa mga lies na itital mo sa officer. So I guess we already have covered things that we should do weeks before your flight, day before your flight, and during your flight doon sa airport. So if you have any other questions or tips that you want to ask me, feel free to comment down below, and please subscribe to my channel for more informative videos like this, or to know my journey, because this coming June is I'm going to UK and I'm gonna give you informative videos about it as well. So I guess that's it. Goodbye!